Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Uyai Anyeka and coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakoran. Let's take a look at the headlines. Vice President Yemi offers 120 billion naira from proceeds of crime. Plus, Putin says Ukraine war is going to take a while as he warns nuclear risk is increasing. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. Going POG that Nigeria has so far been the best and most natural destination for investment in Africa, adding that the Socialist Republic of Vietnam could leverage the cherished friendship with Nigeria to gain entry. Who also expressed strong commitment to leverage and deepen the existing diplomatic relations and friendship with Nigeria for economic developments, especially in the areas of agriculture, oil and gas, and telecommunications. According to a statement by the media assistant to the Vice President Laolu Akande, Sibajo identified areas of investment for the Vietnam business community to include renewable energy, solar power plants in furtherance of international opportunity for investment. Meanwhile, the federal government has said it has recovered over 120 billion naira from the proceeds of crime for the construction of major highways, adding that the administration's fight against corruption is very much on track. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this at the 8th edition of the President Buhari Administration Scorecard Series 2015 to 2023, where the Minister of Environment in October as part of an overall program aimed at showcasing and documenting the numerous achievements of the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. Away from that, the federal government has again asked governors to account for the ecological support since given to states in 2015. Environment Minister Mohammed Abdullahi asked the governors to explain how they applied the huge ecological funds they collected from the federal government for their state. Recall that the ecological support was part of the 5.03 trillion naira that the fund is. Meanwhile, Environment Minister Abdullahi yesterday gave fresh facts on the ecological funds for states at the 8th edition of the President Muhammadu Buhari Administration Scorecard Series 2015 to 2023 in Abuja. He accused. We move now to the legislature, where the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions have summoned the management of the Shell Petroleum Development Company, SPDC, over an alleged breach of contract involving the oil firm and Messrs. Omire and Associates. The chairman of the Senate panel, Ayo Okunleyere, gave the order when the matter came up for hearing during the sitting of his committee. Recall that lawyers to Messrs. Omire and Associates, KK Peters, had in a petition to the Senate alleged that the multinational oil corporation refused to pay his client's service charge for its contractual duties awarded to his client in 2008. He also alleged that the SPDC short-paid his client for 3 years by converting his payments from dollars to naira, and that all entreaties made to the company to be paid fell on deaf ears. In another development, the Senate will on Friday, December 9th, grill through a chamber planned to seek clarifications on the new directive which restricts over-the-counter cash withdrawal by individuals and organizations to 100 and 500,000 naira respectively per week. It also limits cash withdrawal via point-of-sale machines and automated teller machines to 20,000 and 100,000 naira daily and weekly respectively. Deliberating on the policy on the floor of the Senate, senators said there was a need to debate the policy on the floor of the Red Chamber, considering the Committee on Banking to grill the two reappointed deputy governors of the CBN, Aisha Ahmed and Edward Adamu.
Our commerce, I don't think, is ready for this, and our economy may not take this shock. And as such, Mr. President, I want to say that now that there is this, I should speak about it so that Nigerians are aware, and then let us look at what we need to do.
I will advise that these two deputy governors have been in the CBN for the last 4 or 5 years. So they are part of this system. They are not new people. When they come for screening, this is supposed to constitute a major... Just hold on, please. Just hold on, please. Let me talk, please. This is supposed to constitute a major issue to be raised before, if not all of us here, have not had an engagement with that institution. We are not happy with what it is, but when we debate, we should have solid grounds. And I believe that at the moment, my personal opinion is, if we want to be cashless society, we should take time to be cashless society, not to jump at once into being cashless. Most Nigerians will be out of business. So I believe that, but we need to have an opportunity, take the opportunity of screening. From there we can go ahead, because by then somebody
of the contributory pension scheme at the House of Representatives on Wednesday. The bill had been listed for third reading, but the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, was forced to step down the passage to allow consultation by the differing sides. Gbajabiamila, who noted that the committee was supposed to conduct the hearing and report to the House on the bill, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has criticized the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, for expressing doubt over the credibility of the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAs) and results in the viewing portal, which will be deployed for the 2023 election. The Commission expressed shock that the APC candidates could question the efficiency of the technology, which had been used in several polls, including the off-season governorship elections in Ekiti, Osun, and Certainty. Pointed out that the Commission has been talking about the features, strength, and advantages of the BVAs since 2020. Recall that the former Lagos State Governor had on Monday at the Chatham House in Lee transmission of poll results. Away from that, the United Kingdom, UK, has said it has no interest in who becomes Nigeria's next president, as its missioner to Nigeria, Katrina Liang, made this known after meeting behind closed doors with the Senator Abdullahi Adamu-led National Working Committee (NWC) of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) at the party's national secretariat, reiterated its confidence in Nigeria's democracy and President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to ensuring the conduct of free and fair polls next year. For opening up of job opportunities, increased revenue, and checkmating of restiveness, especially in the oil-bearing communities. Governor Emmanuel made the advocacy at the State Banquet Hall, Government House, Uyo, during a currently in the state for the 11th Practical Nigerian Content Forum, PNC. Represented by Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Emmanuel Ekuwem, the governor maintained that such patronage will strengthen the local economic growth of the country, describing as apt the theme of the forum as deepening Nigerian content opportunities in the decade of gas, and emphasized that part of their recommendations should include Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB) engineer Simbi Wabote thanked Governor Dom Emmanuel for hosting the 11th Practical Nigerian Content Forum and commended the governor for the economic value added to the state, especially with the. We move now to Africa, where African, Caribbean and Pacific states are to talk about working together on road safety at the summit of the Organization of African Golan Capital. The OACP Secretary General Georges Chikoti said that the approach of the governments of the organization's member states with regard to road safety must be inclusive and cost most countries 3% of their gross domestic product, and the newly adopted 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development has set an ambitious target of halving the global number of deaths and continue implementing road safety awareness programs in schools and religious centers in a country where road safety is still a struggle. We move now to Chad, where the Secretary of the Bar sentenced 262 people out of 401 arrested following deadly protests in October. Reports say around 50 people, including 10 members of the security forces, died when police opened fire on demonstrators in Chad's ruling military had initially promised to cede power, a timeline that has now been extended by 2 years. Still to come in the news. Team Delta lead with 100 Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. On the foreign scene, where Peru's ousted President Pedro Castillo has been detained by police and accused of rebellion after he tried to dissolve parliament. The country's foreign minister Marcelo Ebrard said he was very concerned by Castillo's detention, but said the former president is yet to make a formal request for after they gave an address on national television in which he declared a state of emergency and outlined plans to rule the country by decree. That the conflict is going to take a while, as he also warned of the increasing threat of nuclear war. Speaking at a meeting of Russia's Human Rights Council at the Kremlin, Putin said Moscow will fight by all available to mobilize more troops. Putin said he viewed the Russian nuclear arsenal as a deterrent rather than a provocation, stressing that out of the 300,000 men called up for Russia's partial mobilization, the rest are in defense forces for training. We move to business, where petrol marketers have issued a 7-day ultimatum to the federal government, threatening to abandon privatization of Nigeria Ipman Satellite Depot, who also represents the Southwest. Akin Akinrinade told journalists in Lagos that depot owners would buy fuel at 148 naira per litre from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, but sell to Ipman members at 250 naira per litre in Lagos and above 250 naira per litre in other areas. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority has assured the public of adequate fuel supply across the country. Chief Executive was at Apapa, Lagos. Still in business, promoters of the African Continental Free Trade (AfCFTA) have said that the agreement has the potential. In a manual on strategy implementation framework made available to journalists during the Nigeria AfCFTA implementation strategy validation held in Lagos, the agency said that the agreements could only AfCFTA. The manual also said that the agreements would execute trade facilitation and infrastructure programs to improve competitiveness. Speaking at the event, the senior that the principle for success lies in strategy. In health, the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA) Yaba League Forum on the role of an enrollee in the drive towards universal health coverage. Dr. Elizabeth Ononge of the Department of Standard and Quality Assurance, in her presentation, explained that the NHIA aimed at ensuring that every segment of the society. Reports say enrollees should be able to go through registration and enrollment processes seamlessly, and participants will be able to successfully sensitize officers in their respective organizations. States medal tally totaling 275 medals, 146 gold, 78 silver, and 51 bronze. Bayelsa and Edo State replaced each other on the table with the medals, including 40 gold, 23 silver, and 40 bronze medals, while Edo, despite having more medals, are below them with 138 medals, comprising 28 gold. Raheem Sterling has asked the Football Association to look into the logistics of him rejoining the England squad at the World Cup in Qatar. A decision is expected today, with England preparing to face reports of a break-in at his Surrey mansion. Meanwhile, Surrey police have said they are investigating a report of a burglary after the occupants of the house returned to find jewelry and watches had been taken. With 3 episodes, it promises to reveal the inside story of how the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stepped down from royal duties. The trailer suggests the TV documentary also show their account of a changing relationship with the media and the public. Reports say this will be their version of events, and the rest of the royal family might be watching to see how far the claims go, if there is any evident relationship. The series is being released in 2 sections of 3 episodes on the 8th and 15th of December. Still on entertainment, the Nigerian film Mami Wata has been selected for, which is a convergence of original storytellers from across the globe, were held in the United States between January 19 and 29, 2023. Reports say the film selection in the World Cinema Dramatic Competition, directed by Fiery Obasi, produced by Oge Obasi, and distributed by Film One, Mami Wata is the story of 2 sisters who, when their village is threatened, must fight to save their people and restore the glory of a distribution company, Film One Distribution. Distributors of the film expressed their excitement and declared it a boost for the Nigerian film industry. You can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyeken. Thanks for watching, and do enjoy the rest of your day.